basically got carried.
I also want to go back to the bans a little bit. I think there's a world where Perks takes the LeBlanc first pick, and they don't ban it. Like, you can then remove the Aurelion Sol last and then take LeBlanc for Perks. Like, he's a guy who's in the past been known for this LeBlanc here. Last year, when these guys won the spring split, he went insane on these LeBlanc games, or in these LeBlanc games. Could be something they're going for now.
Could actually see Fnatic also ban out the Graves, because it was still annoying what Trick was doing in the jungle. Always high HP, always ready to contest. Really easy kind of skirmish, and find Broxah very easily in the bottom lane, and groups up to siege on the turrets very well.
So there's almost no reason for Fnatic to change a whole lot. Maybe the Graves they can add in, like Varus, Syndra, should remain the same. I almost want to see Syndra be the last ban for Fnatic to see if G2 is actually banning LeBlanc or not. Because then they can just leave the Syndra open and take it then.
Well, no pivots yet. Is the Kennen once again. LeBlanc was the third and final ban for G2 Esports. Fnatic also sticking to their plan. Varus, Syndra, they banned away Malzahar.
Stick to the plan then.
So, maybe we might see a very similar team composition again and see if it's playstyle. Alternatively, maybe G2 don't go first pick Camille because Expect basically didn't play the game. The game played everywhere else on the map.
It was played around him though. Like, it's not really his fault. The only thing I think we can fault for is not teleporting either mid or bot in one of those skirmishes. And I think that's what G2 need to change. Even if it's a bad teleport, it's better to cancel a bad teleport than to be too late on a good teleport.
So we're probably going to see Elise Gragas once again for Fnatic. It worked really well in the first game. Broxah with good early ganks, or early engages into a skirmish, and fantastic engages from Source later. And I think this is the option we talked about, the first option, which is, hey guys, our draft was fine. Problem was our execution in-game. Let's just remove those 2 or 3 mistakes, and then we will win.
Yeah, both these teams are so confident in their playstyle. They say, you know what, that game 1, that's results-based analysis. Let's take it to the core. However, I could see one change from Fnatic and be like, you know what, Mithy on this ranged poke champion in the bottom lane was annoying. Let's just ban one of them out as well. Maybe get rid of the Caitlyn, because that's the biggest punish against this Twitch. And then you have a Caitlyn Karma ban. I could see that potentially happening.
There are so few scenarios in professional League of Legends where you see the exact same team comps go up against one another back to back. GG, go rematch.
It's happening because it's Ashe, then you have to ban Caitlyn.
I mean, we have to remember, in the last game, before everything went wrong for G2 Esports, they were about to take down these towers. They were about to get the goal lead.
But G2 may ban Twitch over Kalista and say, you know what, pick another niche AD carry here.
Even though the Twitch actually wasn't that impactful in the last game, not because Reckless didn't play correct, but because he didn't have to do a whole lot. Zyra is one of the safest blind pick supports right now, and obviously was blind picked by Jessis the last time.
But he can go Karma here.
Could definitely just take away Karma. Not been a pick they've favored that much lately.
No, but if you need to get this niche Twitch or Tristana or whatever, or Kalista through laning phase, I think you have to go for the Karma. However,
Lulu is also open.
Oh yeah, and Kalista Lulu is actually disgusting. Oh, he's going for Annie. They're going to play Kalista. They have to play Kalista now.
What if Sven takes Kalista right now?
Annie is really good into Kalista. It's actually, because it's targeted CC where you can lock this guy down, and Annie can play super aggro in lane if you play a Kalista lane, because you can always pull her back. Flash Tibbers, pull her out, knock her in again. Another series of stuns.
I just love how Fnatic are just going back, you know, just going a few years back and saying, which champions used to be really good?
Hey, Tabe, do you have another strategy for us?
Yellow Star, hello, what were you? Was it Annie's support? Yeah, okay, we'll play that. So Annie's support, Aurelion Sol, you know, picks we don't see in Europe very often right now, and they're showing them here.
Could also be a twist, like Annie Tristana. If you are used to
level 6.
If you level 4, if you are used to playing a certain distance from each other, this guy just goes in and stuns you, especially with the new jump reset. This is push poke versus all in again.
Yeah, it's definitely all in on the side of Fnatic, almost no matter what they pick for you to carry.
Oh, I'm so excited. No matter what he locks in here, whether it's the Twitch, whether it's the Kalista, whether it's the Tristana, it all has exciting potential, but G2 could make it a snooze fest by just playing safe push poke.
Could make it a snooze fest. Fnatic would like to do everything in their power not to let that happen. And in the previous game, despite Sven getting double buffs, getting first blood, it didn't matter. So we're not going to get the Kalista or the Tristana. It'll be Twitch once again for Reckless. All in. I'm looking for that, where's my bear Tibbers into Spray and Pray.
It's really hard to play that lane though. You cannot, but for ganking, it's Broxah's wet dream. Like, Any Q will stun, unless you mess up the combo and you W while it's flying and you mess up
It's
your
a
stuff.
professional player. Let's just assume that any Q will stun.
I know personally of certain professional players who have many times failed that combo.
Was that the old support, the legendary Fortune? Or back in the day? He's 2-chin now, he's very buff and he's a caster. But he's here on the desk with us.
Oh, gentlemen.
Is it 1-chin? I'm not sure.
It's 1-chin now.
It's 1-chin, okay.
G2 Esports with one team composition today. Going to play the same champs as the previous game. The dynamic of the bottom lane is slightly different. With this Annie Zyra, very different.
Slightly.
Sorry, but this is now a bot lane stream.
There we go.
I don't think we're watching anything else. Observers, just keep it down low.
What needs to happen for Fnatic to get the kills? You mentioned level 4. Is that the same with Twitch? Is it less so now without Tristana?
Well, it's probably level... I don't know, like... The way Twitch, Annie gets kills if stunned in the poison zone, really. So Sven needs to shift out early. But even then, it's not going to happen, because that's why all-in lanes don't exist anymore.
Yes.
Because with heal, with exhaust, there is not enough damage to burn through. So the only way you realistically, in the current landscape of bot lane, get a kill is if you're stunned and there's a cocoon.
But that's the thing. Again, Fnatic are not looking to win purely 2v2. They're looking for support that can set up plays with the jungler, with the Aurelion Soul, with the Gragas teleport. And we saw that in the last game.
Well, Fnatic found all the plays they needed in game 1 of this best of 5. They are leading against the defending champions, G2 Esports. Golf claps from the crowd around as Fnatic playing Annie support take to the Rift.
And if you think the Annie support is the biggest surprise, let's take a look at this level 1. Because I just noticed that this Annie here, obviously a very strong level 1 champion, is top lane at the moment.
What does it mean?
What does it mean? It can mean two things. Either one, Jessis is just here for level 1 shenanigans and he will go to the bottom lane.
W stacked.
It's W stacked. Or it means Fnatic are looking for a level 1 lane swap. Because now this Twitch is going to the top lane.
I mean, the whole reason lane swaps, let's try and understand this, right? The whole reason lane swaps disappeared is because the value gained in a trade scenario where top lane turret is tankier is not worth what you lose of turret first blood in the bottom lane. And you always get turret first blood in the bottom lane. Now, however, if we sprinkle a triple buff and an early lane kill on that, or a jungle invade on a place where G2 may not ward very much, if that is researched very well, then maybe Fnatic pull ahead.
Because nobody expects
the Spanish Inquisition.
They don't expect that one. They also don't expect Jessis and Reckless to show up in the top lane level 1. Oh, Trevor, you need to be ready soon.
I did not see that coming.
Anyway, camera top lane, please.
Bum, 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 bum,
no one expects it.
Flash, stun, expects in trouble. First blood will be picked up by Fnatic, and it's Reckless that gets it.
This is so dirty, man. No one on stage in a semi-final will do this. We have not seen lane swaps from level 1.
We will need an extended replay. It just happened. We will need Reckless and Jessis will need to take a break after this game to take a shower because it's just disgusting, this play. And this is the matchup.
Okay.
Hang on. Soaz is now the jungler.
Oh, Soaz, look at me. I'm the jungler now.
This is what Fnatic is doing. They are force-feeding Reckless gold and experience. They gave him that kill. Soaz, he realizes he can't go bot lane because then he dies, so he's just trying to be annoying.
Wait, is he doing it?
Body slam goes down. Trick's smiting for some HP. Soaz continues to trade. It's level 2 versus level 1. Trick gets a reply kill. Soaz bit off more than he could chew.
Yeah, that was not part of the plan. Soaz just wanted to be annoying. So here's the problem about lane swapping. You will always lose the bot lane tower first because it gets no buffs. Problem for G2 is, if they want to swap top lane to catch a wave, then you can see Fnatic already recalling, and they can just swap to the bottom lane then.
And these guys have to look back at like lessons from 2 years ago, it feels like. They need to remember something they learned in high school. It's like,
it was last year, but yeah.
But it feels like that in pro play. It's like, how do I lane swap? Oh yeah, if I do it too fast, they punish me for these reasons. If I do it too slow, I get behind in tempo. I always need to bounce a wave. There's so many of these elements that they have never had to think about in well over a year now, it feels.
And this is where now G2 is opting into trading. By them going top lane, and obviously the Fnatic bot lane already recalled to go bottom lane, if they just push, you just trade the bot lane tower for Fnatic for the top lane tower of G2.
Yeah, and a top lane turret is actually still tanky, right?
Yeah, because it's pre-5 minutes.
It's pre-5 minutes.
This is how Fnatic regains the tempo.
Is this actually an evolution? If this comes back, it is better to take the bot lane turret slow at the 4-minute 35 mark so the swap can't happen.
Or you can return to the bottom lane after you take the tower.
Yeah, and hold.
And you can just hold. Because
Blastcones. Hang on, expect here.
Let's take a look. Hook shot goes out, but it's body slams to safety.
So they're holding.
They're holding now with support and jungler.
And now
Source has to go top. And this is now... There's a lot of things happening, but basically, Fnatic, by them recalling, and now going bottom lane, they were trying to even out, saying, okay, now we can at least get a bit of tempo advantage to get the bot lane tower because it has no buffs. We can get it before you get the top tower. Yes, they lost the first tower. That is gone. They can't get that back. They can't trade for it. It's just in favor of G2. They tried to funnel experience into Reckless, but it actually backfired. Because Reckless and Jessus were sharing the wave up top, because the wave was pushing. It was pushing to the tower. They couldn't just sit there and freeze it. And this now means Reckless didn't actually get further ahead than Sven.
Here, Perks, he's not used to two people showing up in his lane like this.
No, he's not. Molten Shield, Incinerate, Disintegrate, Cocoon, Obliterate! Not gonna find the kill onto Perks.
Holds his flash. You know if he cleanses once he is gone and the following ones are still shorter cooldown, if I remember that correctly. And now Broxa and Jessus, they're kind of struggling to find their place on the map, and Fnatic, I think they're getting punished for this early play.
It kind of felt like Fnatic tried to find those roaming ganks again. That new style they're embracing, that new approach. Because look, Caps and Broxa.
Trick is ready. He's in the brush. Let's see how G2 deal with information this time.
All right, Caps and Brox in a 2-on-2, but Expect is going to get the hook shot. That's a knock up into the air. Brox is out of mana. Very good star surge. That got the stun for Caps. Celestial Expansion sends G2 away, and Fnatic win the trades.
And this is the problem with these unconventional champions. They saw it coming. They took the 2v2. They thought they were going to win it, and they forgot about the just overwhelming damage the Celestial Expansion does with an exhaust on the primary damage target.
Yeah, now Fnatic gets to push in this bot lane tower, while top lane tower lost its buffs now, but you can see 50% HP on the bottom one. He's maximizing.
Yeah, keeping the tank creep alive for more damage. Lane swap.
So lane swap, yeah. You can take as much damage as you want in a lane swap because you're fighting only minions and towers.
Yeah, hell, you can even get yourself executed and get a trip back to base without pressing B.
I mean, we saw some North American teams trying to experiment with that strategy as well.
On the Herald?
On the Herald, well, it was actually smart to get back to base faster, but it does put you a little bit behind. That's probably a reason it didn't really catch on.
Yeah, it was a really short trend, you know?
Well, Fnatic will get their first tower.
Doublelift did bring that trend back, though.
Did he? Oh, yeah, that's true. Smart as well. Very smart.
Cerebral player, I think so.
Now, I want to talk more lane swaps, because I've been missing these lane swaps for so long. Damn you, Riot, for sometimes removing these. But also, thank you, because the game has gotten more exciting.
I think we're like the two people.
We are the only two who are like, lane swaps, yay!
Do you have a moment to talk about our Lord and Savior tempo?
I wish we could bring that back more often, but people hated us for it. Why do you all hate tempo? It's important.
Well, who has the tempo now? Because Fnatic got the tower, Soaz is defending the top lane. Is it back in Fnatic's favor?
Yeah, Fnatic, they have the tempo because this bot lane tower could go down so quickly, so they actually evened out the tower score. They only lost the first turret gold. You saw it now. They recalled first and walked back towards the top lane, and it's actually now very, very even.
The most important resource in the lane swap is actually experience, and it doesn't show on screen, so it's much harder to track. Because with all this moving around, there are a lot of big experience deficits, and you have a few situations. A top laner holding 2v1 is great. That's what you want, because you can generally clear and they can't dive you, especially in the range support meta with poke. Top laner holding 3v1 is not so great, because the guy gets dove and he loses everything. So Fnatic, they want to create situations where Soaz ended up catching two people, and now he's level 6. And now they group again, because Fnatic is 3v3, 3v4, and then you have to remember, it's like your tables. You have to go back, like, what is what again? How do we play these lane swaps?
And now Mithi, sadly for him, is kind of struggling to find experience around the map. He's only level 4.
He has a side stone. His job is done.
His job is to play some wards. Sven, though, gets level 6. And this is the thing. Part of like why you can lane swap is to funnel experience and trade that for gold. But Reckless didn't get a big experience advantage, so Sven is not behind by any means.
But we also talked about how potent anti-Twitch is at 6 and how hard their 1-6 is going to be. Well, we just skipped the entirety of the laning phase. It was a little rough for a moment, but Fnatic, they went bot lane twice, evened it out, and now Mithy is level 4. This guy is at risk of getting blown up the second Jesus gets level 6, or even now.
Ooh, just holding my breath. Pressure in the mid lane as well. Here comes Soaz. Body slam into flash. Connects with Perks. Cleanse gets him to safety for now. Voice of Light is still available. Gets the kill. Teleport coming down for Expect. In from behind. Expect cancels.
Notice how Broxah could flash, but Caps told him to back off. He said, no, I have this. This guy has no flash, no cleanse. I still have ultimate. I'm going to wait for him to escape my reach with Celestial Expansion or be in it. And then he just pops the ultimate. Caps did not waste flash. These guys are communicating so well in chaotic environments.
It's just amazing how Fnatic got the advantage.
No, it's Broxah.
Back. It's true, it is. But Broxah didn't do anything this game.
I'm sorry.
I could add something else though, but right, they got a kill, Mitch. Thank you.
I do you out completely. What is actually amazing?
What's amazing to me is how Fnatic, after giving over that first tower, when G2 actually had a chance to then get further ahead, by putting Sven and Mithy back to the bottom lane. As soon as Sven showed top lane, Fnatic knew, okay, this is it for us. We can get it back. We can actually win this lane swap. Because then we saw that play in mid and Caps roaming. Ooh, they don't have a ward on Mithy, so I don't actually see him place this ward. But by basically Sven sitting top lane, it allowed Caps and Broxah to go bot lane, get that one little trade.
And then Soaz the TP top as well.
Soaz TP top because it's a 1v1. And then they could take the bot lane tower for Fnatic and actually even out the gold and get experience on Soaz.
And in old school lane swaps, that would only get punished if your top laner would then TP for the dive, but Expect had already used his teleport. So Fnatic, they definitely practice this a bit more, and a few bits of practice games help you so much in lane swap, because you remember all these little tricks and tempos and things you have to call in the early game.
I mean, this is obviously something Fnatic all week long must have been working on. You can pull out picks you haven't practiced in a while.
Not a lane swap.
You don't pull out a level 1 lane swap out of nowhere. Like, that is clearly something they're prepared for this series here, and it's been working for them in this game. Got them out of that tricky lane early, and now they're hitting gold.
And I think so important for Fnatic, when they have been winning their games, a lot of it stems from just really good early games and finding opportunities or getting a lead in the early game.
And it also stems from research, because they knew exactly that there was no ward top from Expect. There's not a single top laner wards for level 1 like that. They ward for maybe level 2 ganks, and likely for level 3 ganks, because it's all based around conventional pathing. Now Expect is looking for Caps, but he doesn't pull the trigger early enough.
That's the other thing for Fnatic. As soon as the map is open, people like Soaz are just... he's always been really good at kind of roaming around and making some of these plays. Like him going mid lane right there, catching out Perks, set him up for another kill.
He has some great flanks so far in this series from Soaz. He also predicted the flash there. We can't understate this. Like his body slam, he knew Perks would flash, did his barrel accordingly. If that Q from Aurelion Sol was just slightly larger towards the wall, it would have been insta-kill.
So Fnatic have full pressure top lane. By them going down this little brush where there's a control ward, they stop Sven from ever actually stepping forward. He knows when they're missing, he can die in a second.
Luckily, Mithy doesn't get caught out. It feels like we've got a slightly slower pace, but Broxah may set up a dive here.
If they time cleanse, he can just go for Flash Cocoon and he's dead.
Let's find out. Perks sniffs something fishy in the water and backs away instantly. Support for G2 pouring to this mid tower.
2 people missing on the minimap. You have to respect it. One shows. He knows right now that Elise is still somewhere in the wings, but I think he was more scared of Soaz flanking on Gragas.
Looking at the minimap, Fnatic are bringing everybody to the mid lane party. Where is Soaz? Go for the body slam! Go for the body slam! Soaz is going to look for a target. 3 juicy G2 members! 1 and 2's down! Very good shockwave, but the damage isn't enough yet. Here comes Expect. Hextech ultimatum buys some time, but Expect is alone. Perks has got no mana. They can't win the fight.
And Sven is not moving. He's just sitting top lane farming. It's too late for him to do anything, and this is why Fnatic can dive between 2 towers. And 12 minutes, because they knew, oh, Sven is top lane, Camilla's bot lane. It takes 4.5 seconds for her to join a fight. It's so quick.
It's just so beautiful. Soaz is going in for more. He's just telling Perks step away, and then they get access to another turret here. Don't bleed though.
Soaz goes for the body slam, gets the cleanse. Manages to stay alive for a few seconds longer.
These are the turret changes though, Soaz is not used to it. Back when Fnatic used to play this style, you could go for that play because you would not get turret aggro if you attack somebody outside of the inner turret range. But with the changes we did, obviously that turret is going to keep aggro on you. So that Soaz forgot about that one.
It's a few years of tower diving that needs to get rewritten.
Yeah,
and a new experience.
It's really annoying to get rid of it because you're so used to, yes, of course, the tier 2 will aggro me, but not the tier 1.
Let's see what G2 can do with that 1 kill. Probably not a whole lot. Actually, just trying to slow down the game a little bit because it's Fnatic always pushing the tempo and forcing plays left and right.
Look at this again. Everybody comes in, no wars. They knew people were missing, but this flash tibbers from Jesse, that's a dream. Almost 3-man. Perfect cast. Soaz is having a stellar performance on this Gragas, so comfortable. And then I thought it was like, what's Daisy doing? But that's actually tibbers.
I had exactly the same thought.
Like mechanical tippers.
Yep. Who's dying?
Oh, we don't want to see him dying.
Oh, they found Reckless.
Let's jump out. Reckless takes so much damage. 200 HP. Trick goes in. End of the line for a double kill.
Trick is, he's tired of these shenanigans. Walks straight in.
Ooh, that was a big one.
Smacked Reckless and Jesses in the face.
But that's a play that gets G2 back into this game.
It's actually so huge for G2. It's insane how these games are swinging. From G2 first with the lane swap advantage, and then Fnatic taking it back. Fnatic with the big play in mid lane. And now this, what was supposed to be a gank setup from Fnatic's bottom lane, completely backfired, and they lost his top tower.
Well, they did. They might lose a little bit more now. Fnatic gonna get caught up by the ultimatum. He's got the cast, but it's on cooldown. That sends 3 away. Body slam onto Expect, flashes over the wall. Not dead yet. The Soaz escapes yet again.
And there is one good thing about Soaz that you always find in a match. His ability to escape from situations that he should have never been in the first place.
It's a classic. It's definitely a classic. Jesses, Caps, same thing.
Caps is going for perks. Broxah is going to run into Trick. Cocoon gets connected. There's some support from Caps, and flashes are available. Celestial Expansion, ticking and slowing. GLP not used by Caps. Fnatic able to walk away.
And Trick is reading this game pretty well. He's adapting right now twice in honestly a minute. He's been in the right place at the right time to stop somebody from walking forward. Look at Reckless. They know he's coming.
Ward here. Ward notices everyone, and Trick is hiding in the brush.
But that's hubris. Going for a play, knowing that you're spotted, that's where Fnatic is getting overconfident in a bit. And that's when they realize, like, it was a trap.
They did so many things correct, Fnatic. And then they lost that little trade here. They're still hitting gold. This game is wide open. Also because the towers are dead, so it's such an open map they're playing around. Mid lane tower is almost dead by now. If this goes down against Aurelion Sol, the game gets really, really hard to play.
Especially for Fnatic. Moby Boots Annie, Comet of Legend for Caps.
Moby Boots Elise.
The new Fnatic lore. Get the towers down, surprise your opponents by a kill somewhere in the lane they're not expecting.
Yeah, it's basically if somebody's missing, he's always trying to gank you. It's not like that he's getting ready for more split push. You should always assume they're in your lane.
Well, that's what G2 will have to focus on. Shockwave just to clear the way. Perks desperately wants to hold on to this tower. He's got some support coming from G2, but Fnatic, will they pull the trigger again? Expect coming over the wall with the hook shot. Soaz holds onto the barrel for a very long time, but not going to work out. Tibbers onto Expect. Now Perks is running for his life. Spray and pray doing work. That's Voice of Light that picks up the kill and gets the tower. 1 or 2 more hits for Fnatic. They trade 1 for 1, but get the objective.
I'm really starting to become a fan of this Aurelion Sol from Caps because he's so good at holding that ultimate as a guaranteed kill. And then just when they're about to get out of the grasp of the team fight, he uses it. So many Aurelion Sol players pop it early to disengage. He always snipes a kill with it.
Pretty sure Expect missed his stun on the way in. I'm sure it was just out of range, or... Yeah, actually misses Caps right here early on, which means they don't get any damage on him, yet they do get Soaz down, but this is the turnaround from Fnatic.
He's a tank.
Another fight, though, where G2 are fighting without Sven. The strongest member on their team is the AD carry. Now, obviously, in this game, Trick is pretty fed on Graves, and he can do a lot of damage, but Sven is normally the man G2 plays around and fights. And because it's this early on, he's obviously trying to just sit and farm lanes.
And for a storied organization like Fnatic, any fans they may have lost come flocking back to the herd so quickly. I mean, also, it helps that every G2 hater unites.
It's the people's team.
Yeah.
You know, Fnatic for the longest time, they defined who and what the European LCS was. And
they were one of the teams that defined it.
They were. I'm talking LCS here.
LCS, you know? Yes, before your time.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves, gentlemen. There's obviously Copenhagen Wolves too.
Defined League of Legends.
Well, they defined something.
They defined the floor.
They found Bjergsen. That's, I think, the claim to fame.
I found Bjergsen.
As Fnatic are finding success. This
in a really fun style.
Yes.
We cannot stress this enough. It's been so enjoyable to honestly reminisce, watch a bastard-like version of a lane swap happen. It wasn't pretty, but it was still a lane swap.
It was a lane swap. It was something. I think I think in the end it paid off because, again, G2 obviously don't know how to react to it perfectly. I'm sure if G2 will go back and kind of
watch the VOD
and play this like lane swap 10 times, but you can't do that because it's right now. You need to be able to execute.
And this puts so much better. No matter whether Fnatic or G2 win this game, Game 3, you bet your money that Expect is warding his brush.
How much pressure does this put on the support staff behind, behind stage that now need to interpret and understand and predict? Good luck predicting for the next game.
Ocelot did have this style back in Season 2, I believe, Gamescom, where they had Season 2, where they had the Fiesta style. They were like randomly start tree buffing, so like he's used to coaching in chaos and doing the unexpected. Maybe he can whisper some words of wisdom.
Guys, in Season 2 we did this. We should do the same. I'm like, it's probably not how the game works, sadly, for the rest of G2.
Yeah, we should walk into the enemy blind to try and steal their blue buff.
Pick Alistar jungle.
Keep smiling.
Hashtag keep smiling.
Well,
guys, come on.
Smiling.
This game here, Fnatic, they're making some good moves.
Yeah, look at the vision. What does this mean?
The vision. We don't care about the vision right now.
Up, but they're fighting over walls.
Expect the split pushing right now. That's the pressure point for G2. He's going to draw somebody back. Somebody needs to react from Fnatic. Conventionally, usually somebody would react. But will Fnatic do something desperate?
I think they have to. They've got flash ready on Jesses now, which normally when you play any support signals, someone is going to die very, very soon. Either Jesses flashes in and dies, or he kills someone with the rest of the team.
Either way, your statement is true.
Exactly, and that is very important as a caster to never be wrong.
Well, that's not really been true for me. But anyways, Fnatic at 20 minutes.
It's been a rough one then for you, Trev.
It's been a few. Have once again got Caps leading the way, 2-0-1. In the previous game, Caps went 5-0-4 on his Aurelion Sol. Got that Rylai's in the GLP. It feels like Fnatic playing this a little safer, but Reckless gonna get caught out.
But they know he likes hiding in brushes, and they're trying to sniff him out right here, and they're just trying to corner him. I think they got him.
Yeah, there he is. Control wards, ambush, and throws down spray and pray. Tries to get at least one. Contaminate not used yet. Summon a heal. What else can Fnatic do?
Yeah, and G2 is like a smart AI. They're adapting, they're learning. They know when Reckless pushes out a wave, he doesn't walk anywhere. He tries to hide on that Twitch.
Oh, Mitty.
Flash, summon Tibbers. There's what Jesus has available to him. But not going to find a target as G2 back away from a potential face check.
And compared to the last game where G2 was so far down at this point already, this is obviously much better for them. They find Reckless top lane, and as you can see in the minimap, the rest of Fnatic are not in a position to really do anything, and that's why G2 can send 4 guys to the top lane.
Terrifying how much damage Reckless is already putting down. Hurricane, Blade of the Rune King, plus that spray and pay.
Spray and pay? Who's he paying?
Spray and pay. He's paying Sven in damage. Sven 1-0-3 on his Ezreal. A little bit more set up to carry this time around.
If he gets there in time.
Oh, good point.
Well, again,
it's actually the official's point.
It's only 2k gold difference now, so Crepper, what's my next point?
I don't know, I'm just repeating your previous points.
Oh, it's good, good. Repeat the one I made 5 minutes ago.
Sven is always late to team fights.
No, he's not late. His team is just
early.
Getting caught without
That's what you tell yourself.
The team is always coming early.
Yeah, buddy. Keep telling yourself that one.
What I do like, though, is G2 have reacted this game to a little bit more shenanigans from Fnatic.
I think Trick has been setting up, and G2 have been reacting to the kind of the lane pickoffs from Fnatic. They still struggled in the early game when Fnatic moved the pieces around on the chessboard and kind of just dove them straight up. But to these like lane or side lane pickoffs with Reckless, I think they've been reacting a lot better.
It's a bit of an issue for Fnatic, though. They can't actually seem to get any sort of like deep vision and deep push, so they can't really use Aurelion Sol at the moment. They're just kind of pushing in mid, then Perkz pushes it back, and now it's the Baron bait we're setting up for. We kind of waited for Jess as well with that flash tippers.
But it's been a tendency of them to play on 2 lanes and not 3 with this like Twitch. You want to keep the map tiny and constantly have Reckless ambush somewhere, whereas G2 is a team that will always play on 3 lanes, always try to push out these side lanes.
Especially during the regular splits, it's some of the highest CS numbers between 15 and 30 minutes playing across the map. Vision again being cleared around Baron. Fnatic kind of tunneling on this top half of the map for now.
Yeah, an interaction we still have to look for is whenever Expect goes in with the ulti, you can knock Camille out of her zone with the Gragas barrel, and then it resets, and then you can break your allies free in that way. That's something you need to watch for in fights, because that's obviously what G2 wants to do, isolate a target with the Camille ulti, because Caps is super squishy, and he can only flash out, but you can't do that out of the Hextech ultimatum. Same for Reckless, and now This Baron has been started. Fnatic is aware.
All right, Voice of Light already used by Caps, puts some damage down onto G2 as they peel off the objective, but they get Soaz's teleport.
And look at Perks, he's mid already, so they can catch that push that will follow from Fnatic.
Now Expect will go bot lane, and then you have TP advantage for G2, which is very important for the next few minutes. As long as Fnatic can't get a catch, G2 should be able to at least push out that bottom lane without anyone contesting it, and if someone shows up, it's suddenly Baron time or mid-tower time for G2 here.
And Reckless is about to show on top lane to catch that wave, and that's going to be the breathing room for G2 to reset. Because that's how they usually operate. Slow push waves, force the enemy to reveal themselves, play with the side lanes, force you to teleport in, then reset the entire thing again, and now they can pull the trigger with Expect. And when it's slowly set up, and everything's happening in Vision, and everybody's playing the standard way of League, that's when G2 excel. That is their preferred style.
And of course, we talked so heavily about the Fnatic, style that they've embraced. Let's expand a little bit on what G2 are going to be doing over these next few minutes, because this very efficient, small victories, maybe lower risk plays, is something that they've done very well.
Traditionally, you will see Trick here constantly clear out his own jungle. Trick is a guy, if he passes from left to right and there's 2 jungle camps in between, they're dead when he arrives at destination. This guy picks up everything he can along the way, which sometimes leaves Mithy to ward alone. Because some teams, obviously the goal here, strategy-wise, is to get deep vision in the enemy red jungle.
That's what G2 should be able to get now, seeing as Gragas has shown bot lane. It's very interesting that Expect is actually doing his own jungle camp.
He's the new Trick.
And he's learning from Trick. Problem is, when you're doing this, it actually gives Fnatic time to push out a wave without teleport, and it gives Fnatic time to get TP back. G2 are playing so passive at the moment, just accepting. They just want to farm and scale. They actually did not even contest all these wards here from Fnatic, and this will now bite G2 in the butt, because now they have to blindly face check into an Annie. And that can actually cost them almost everything. Now they're going in to try and get this vision.
They saved the squaring plan, and it's actually quite interesting because G2 do not know how far they are behind. Because they're playing against unfamiliar champions in an unfamiliar playstyle. And now Miffy's actually...
Oh, good flash from Miffy. Instant reaction from Tibbers. Expect decides to engage, holds on to the ultimatum, looking for a target. Remember, Soaz can get rid of Expect from that baby cage, and Fnatic have successfully disengaged.
Yeah, but playing in chokes versus this Fnatic lineup can be difficult. Caps and Reckless can 2v9, 2v8. Sorry, bad math. Team fights.
That was the flash we wanted to see from Mithy last game, though.
Yeah, definitely.
Really good reaction time on the Tibbers. Means he stays alive, and that means G2 now walking into this river. They're not as afraid.
They got mid lane first, so mid lane priority is super important, because now Fnatic can't react with a push in the mid lane themselves.
See, G2 just getting the wards, all they were looking for. TP's back for Soaz though, so that was a window that G2 did not take advantage of, because they actually decided to do their own jungle camps and play like really slow, like trying to really maximize the amount of farm they could get for a few minutes.
And they probably feel that they're further behind than they actually are.
Safe play, not going to cost G2 anything further for now. If he was able to flash to safety, and just taking a look, the game continually feels like it's resetting. Ambush, will Reckless pull the trigger? There's support coming from Caps over the wall, and so as GLP goes down, very good range on that hook shot, but they get Expect flash.
I feel like they could have executed that one if you go in front of the E. Hook shot launch, but then maybe they're just satisfied with a flash. Made us open now.
We find ourselves in a position where Fnatic and G2 slightly in a stalemate. Flash Tibbers almost available for Jezzes.
But they can't overstay. They learned their lesson last game. Just because the turret's 20% doesn't mean you gotta finish it on this push. Now Expect is going to reveal himself bottom lane, which means it's 45 on the rest of the map. Fnatic, they're taking the liberty here to start Nashor.
And this is good for Fnatic because they have the engage. And if you're walking in a choke point to try and stop this Baron or using your TP
in full vision, so now they get teleport advantage. And Fnatic have actually been controlling the map instead of G2. How will they use this TP advantage?
Now G2 will get mid tower, so that's at least something for them, but they might have to just run towards the bottom side of the map to get out.
Where is Jezzes? I'm looking for any sort of engage. He's sitting far on the back line. Expect goes in. Cocoon is sidestepped or wide, depending on your perspective.
Really important miss there on the Cocoon. Obviously understandable. Broxah doesn't have to hit them all. But this means a lot for the fight.
No engage yet. Keep holding my breath every time they group up.
Now something cool they can do is send Soaz to the bottom lane, because usually right now, right, in every single game that you play meta style, Soaz goes bot to push out to gain a play on TP advantage. What Fnatic do every single time is actually send Twitch there too, where you expect them to play 4 at the Nashor, 1 in the bottom lane. They sometimes send 3 at the Nashor and surprise Twitch visit in the bottom lane to then kill the solo laner there. Let's see if G2 is ready for this.
I think G2 right now are trying to adapt a lot and be like, let's talk about everything, let's communicate every single risk. They have to communicate now that Reckless has been missing on the map for quite a while. He is down in this bottom lane. Expect, as you can see, is staying really far back. No flash though.
Soaz has to act like he's at least somewhat scared.
Not just yet. Here comes Reckless, just straight up engage. But no body block on that hook shot. And Expect gets out clean.
A few minions in a way.
It's one of the moments where that coin flip play doesn't work for Fnatic and they don't actually take advantage of the TP situation.
But how many teams send their AD carry to gank for the top laner in a Nashor bait situation?
I mean, we saw Udamna die to this a few times in the last series and give Fnatic pretty good advantages, but it's fun with both teams here, how G2 trying to play so safe, so safe that they're not risking anything. They might actually end up
They have to start Nashor because Reckless stayed bottom. They switched it up again. They go for the side lane push with the Twitch and then starting Baron, but if Fnatic can stall long enough, Reckless can do damage in this fight, but the Baron is going down fast, and it is still a 50-50.
Roxa's got Flash, the ability to go over the wall. Soaz has already used his ultimate. Bought enough time for Reckless to get in range, but he's got no spray and pray available to him. Shockwave dodged away from. Very good on the rappel.
And Reckless is mid again. They're moving Reckless on the turrets constantly and playing the objective game 4v5, and Fnatic is getting ahead.
It all starts with G2 though being engaging? No, that's not good.
Engage.
That's really bad.
Straight into Fnatic, donating a kill, and Fnatic at the tower.
But it's so much more than just Reckless. It's the entire team getting pushed in 2 lanes at the same time. So when G2 try and defend bot first, they realize we can't hold here. Let's go to the Baron. But then mid lane wasn't even pushed, so Reckless just found a way to get some damage there as well. G2 needs to stop this Baron or the game is probably over.
Flash Tibbers is still available for Jez as he's stuck inside the pit and takes a lot of damage from the command attack and dissonance combo. Shockwave on cooldown for Perks in the pit. Fnatic get Baron. Trick is the target as he uses collateral damage. Will not get to safety. Voice of Light flashed away from as Perks jumps over the wall. Here comes Caps. Gets out of range of the Mystic Shot. He's cut off the retreat path. Stalls it. It's flashed away from. Caps gets back to safety. Command attack goes down and Fnatic don't chase over the ball. But Fnatic get Baron.
So important for Fnatic to get the Baron here. G2 Esports are trying to play it so safe. They're trying not to get caught by this Annie or the Twitch showing up. It just meant that Fnatic had a lot of control on the map, and this ulti.
It would have been close.
So close.
But what a beautiful set of map moves. Ooh, Soaz, don't get caught. We won't talk macro here. Knocks him out.
Okay. Got some support. Good flash.
Like the way Fnatic played the last 3 minutes is so unconventional. Ganking Soaz with Reckless, and then when it fails, keeping Reckless in the bottom lane for turret pressure, prompting a somewhat 50-50 Nashor start that they then stall. They add Reckless pressure. They rotate mid with Reckless again, and then they force, honestly, an error from Expect here.
But this is kind of the thing from a little bit earlier, where G2 had the TP advantage, and that was kind of the moment for G2 to now be aggressive.
Look at this. Soaz and Trick kind of switch.
They switch side. Soaz tried to body slam Trick and stop him from dashing into the pit. Didn't get to hit the body slam, funny enough. But again, what's so interesting is how when G2 had the windows where it was actually safe to play around Baron, they didn't take them. They played super passive. And then when they were forced to play around Baron as the only way out, well, that's when Fnatic knew, we got you right now. It's 4v5, yes, but you're tanking Baron. We have our jungler here, we have Flash Tippers. So our AD carry can go for that play. It's actually just Fnatic setting themselves up for success. And G2 playing too passive and too scared when behind.
Definitely too passive, because the Fisher talked about it earlier, how it's not only about Reckless and Soaz. We need to commend Broxah, Caps, and Jez's for holding 2 lanes in a Nashor area 4v3 for such an extended period of time that this series of events could happen. Because any other team will just waltz in. And I think it's the Aurelion Soul pick. G2 is not ready to face check into a Soul, because with the Hextech GLP, the ultimate, and then the Celestial expansion, he deals so much damage to multiple targets at once.
Well, look at that. Expect gets bounced into the team. Manages to escape thanks to that hook shot. And, you know, Amazing mentioned this in the analyst desk earlier, how Fnatic just embraced Reckless's play style, integrated, play around it. And that's unlocked some of these great map movements. Fnatic teleported down bottom. Sven gets caught out by Tibbers. And a good shockwave, but only onto Soaz. Here comes Expect. He manages to lock down Reckless inside the ultimatum. Reckless is killed. Caps is looking for a star surge. Voice of Light is available to him, but Jesus goes down. G2 have bought some time. They're winning the fight, and Trick, who got so fed early, is chasing down the Fnatic members.
Now we've yet to see the ultimate combo from this G2 team, by the way. It is going in with the Hextech ultimatum and then popping the ball with the Orianna E instantly onto Camille into an ultimate. That is one shot on any swishy target. Fnatic have been avoiding it very well throughout the series.
First Dragon that's going to fall in a while. Mountain Drake on the side of G2. Hop over the wall for Trick, and it's stolen. Burst down. Clean execution on that steal.
All right, small victory here for G2. Getting another Mountain Drake is, of course, important when you're trying to defend your base. The enemy team doesn't get it. Just a little bit split up from Fnatic here. 3 guys on the bottom side, 2 guys in the mid lane. Prompted that engage from Expect.
Another great teleport too on the D-ports. They did not expect him there. I hate that fun. Happens every time. But like, they didn't see him coming, and he's surprised. I think that's what G2 need to do. Surprise Fnatic, the team that has consistently been surprising them. And it's been a problem throughout history for G2 Esports. Rapidly adapting to things they're not used to.
Yeah, because first game, they played too aggressive when they should respect Fnatic. And this game, they played actually too passive when they didn't always have to respect Fnatic at certain points in the game. And finding that balance over a best of 5 is difficult.
I think we go back to game 3, same picks, same bands, and just try one more time.
One more time. I mean, G2 has side selection. They can actually pick blue side again.
GG Re. I mean, it's been very entertaining thus far with some small pivots.
I think one thing G2 will probably realize is the Orianna is really hard to play against Fnatic's style. Because so little of Fnatic's style is based around grouping as 5 members and going into this big, epic late game team fight. And it's so much more about always being in multiple lanes and kind of walk around in jungles. And it's hard for Orianna to kind of move.
Yeah, how we usually define Aurelion Sol. He's a side lane pick that can then move everywhere on the map, right? Caps has only been exclusively in the mid lane. Reckless has been the side laner. Right now he's being followed by Expect, but too much distance in between. And that's something they're struggling with.
Try and look at this G2 comp where you put LeBlanc in instead, who can actually match the mobility of a lot of these Fnatic members, who does well in a skirmish kind of game where it's a lot of 1v1s, 2v2s. Perkz might actually feel like he has more impact that way. Now that being said, while Fnatic is really far ahead in this game, we've gotten further into the late game than we did in the last one. Death Cap is completed, 3 items. Ezreal is very strong now, Orianna is very strong. This game is far from done. One shockwave and then Perkz is like, yeah, this is why I pick Orianna. Like, I literally just won the last team fight.
A lot of squishy members on the side of Fnatic. Look at Broxah slowly getting some MR now as he's looking to complete his build. 5 items for Reckless, that is a terrifying Twitch. So if he doesn't get shockwaved, insta-gift, you can see him spray and pray down most of G2. A little early on that Venom cask, I feel. Doesn't matter.
But I'm really happy with what this series has produced, because we knew there was the possibility of Fnatic delivering here. But I think everybody was still a little bit afraid of the G2 Classic 3-0 controlled style. So no matter what happens, I'm just so overjoyed to see that there is an answer and that you can also play it in a slightly different way. And meta doesn't always stay meta.
I mean, it's also because a lot of the individual players on Fnatic are like peaking right now in terms of their performance this split. Like Broxah came in, had a good early start, then went downhill a little bit, and we weren't too sure if he was the real deal. And now in playoffs,
ooh, this could actually be an engage here. Jesus gets Trick.
Oh, Reckless is
they don't know he's there.
Just out of range. Cocoon doesn't find his target though, and Trick is getting shot to pieces. Reckless survives for a few seconds longer before Expect takes him out. So far it's 1-for-1, but 80 carry for Jungle. Matthias being jumped on by Soaz, and Expect is flashed over the wall. This would make it a 2-for-1 in favor of Fnatic. They can't get Expect yet. Barrel roll slows him down, and Perkz, he's holding on to the shockwave, waiting for the targets.
Yeah, you could see almost the respect from Broxah. He expected Trick to juke into the cocoon. Trick just walked straight on because he was so surprised trying to get away from the Twitch. And again, if that cocoon connects, these are the type of plays. Fnatic, they go even now on a play that if the cocoon hits, just simply like nets them, complete Nashor control. Watch this again. Trick here gets so surprised by Reckless that he just clicks in the direction. He's actually not even surprised. He doesn't.
It's the best juke, just keep running.
Yeah, he doesn't I think he just doesn't anticipate any cocoon there and sees a reason to juke.
Fight breaks out though, and in the end, Expect also managed to jump away because Cap's never really able to join the fight.
Yeah, he couldn't flank because Sven has shown in the past as well in one of the previous fights that he's willing to flash over Aurelion Q. And if you flashed into Aurelion Sol without getting hit by the Q, you will kill him. But that's the problem. You want to walk into his orbs, but you also don't want to get hit by Q, so it's really hard to play against.
Well, it's very hard to play against Fnatic as well. G2 have got an exposed inhibitor. They're still down 6,000 gold. And it feels like Fnatic are still marginally in the lead. You know, the gold value is quite a lot. But it feels like G2 are trying to, you know, responding to these plays from Fnatic.
They have pushing bot lane, which matters a lot. Because if Fnatic had the pushing bot lane, then they could randomly send Reckless in stealth there and surprise the inhib turret. So I think that is something Fnatic could look for to fix right now, is slow push that bottom lane in the opposite direction and then have at least an alternative. But look at the vision control.
It's the same issue now. Same issue for G2 where you're forced to kind of blindly face check tippers.
But it's not blind though.
Soon it will be if they can actually put down a control board. They don't have any control boards.
They don't have any control boards. And Sweep is on cooldown, and this is where the error lies.
Ah, Soaz with the Doran's ring. I'm tilted.
They're trying to fake it. They're trying to fake the aggro on the Nashor, or...
You can't really with Aurelion Sol though, because it will hit it.
Well, we can see Fnatic are starting this one off. Expect jumps in, looks for Jezus. Tibbers comes down to buy some time, but the collateral damage snipes him on the back end. Baron is enlisted. It's helping out Fnatic as Expect is being shot and pummeled by the autos. Trick is fighting on the flanks as Soaz and Caps trying to clean up. Perks has got away, Mithy's got away, Caps goes down, and G2 have won the fight. Sven wants to clean up. He can shift over the wall in a moment's time. Running down Soaz, who's got a GA. So far, it's a 1 for 3. And this will likely be 4. Sven kills Broxah.
And this is exactly what we talked about the last few minutes. How, yes, Fnatic, they have the goal lead, the tower lead, all that kind of stuff. But G2's composition with this Ezreal, with Orianna, even Camille at this point in a fight, it is a late game comp. And it's gotten to late game without being too far behind.
But the basis of this mistake is still a fundamental macro error though by Fnatic by not counting their inventory before they commit to the play.
Yeah, never have Doran's ring at 40 minutes. Just let it be 3 control wards at any given point.
Because that is the most standard spot you need a control ward for Nashor. But a couple of key persons to follow in this fight is the way Sven plays around Aurelion Sol, and also just the damage Perks' Shockwave gets off on Reckless. Expect did his job here. Reckless is constantly under pressure. Trick also aggressively flashes in, and look at Sven right now. He is only responsible for taking down Caps.
That's the kind of team fight where you can see Reckless trying to find the right position to hit multiple members with his ulti, that he actually doesn't see the ball. He didn't get to flash it, even though he was ready for the fight. And that is so huge. Flashing Orianna ball in the late game as an AD carry can mean the difference between you winning and losing the fight. But when you're so focused on trying to find the right position, it's hard to always keep an eye on that little Orianna ball that's moving around, a ton of AoE effects. And Perks this time, on the Orianna, he found the Twitch and killed him, which allowed then Sven to carry the rest of the fight.
G2 not only got Baron, they got Elder Dragon while we're in the replay. They've closed that goal lead, and now they're in absolute control of the map.
But Reckless still saved his flash, so did Soaz. And double flash advantage can mean a whole lot.
Saved it, didn't use it. He has flash. Probably would like to use it if he could.
You know what? You're right, fish, yo.
No. It's the master plan.
What's the master plan?
The next fight, Crepo. He's gonna use that flash.
You guys thought you got Baron and Nashor for free. But alas, I have flash. No, it's true actually. Okay, I should have used a different word. But he still has flash. And sometimes you forget that, because when you kill a Twitch in those team fights, you don't communicate well. You're just gonna assume that he flashed. He must have flashed.
Yeah,
how else did he die?
Yeah, true.
Well, let's take a look how G2 play with the lead. Gigantic Star Surge coming down, but Caps kind of messes up the angle on that one. Didn't find the target. G2 have got their 4th tower of the game, and they're looking to break open Fnatic's base. We're into 42 minutes, and this Annie pick for Jezus has the potential to set up a kills, but I've not seen it pay off really for the majority of the game.
Yeah, he did his job early though. You can't punish him for that. And he falls off super hard in late game. There's no more threat of like half HP Tibbers. It takes off 20% maybe, and you're playing into triple mercs.
It also means now, let's see potential fight now.
Yes, looking for the spray and pray. Multiple targets were lining up, but Reckless holds onto the button for now.
See, the problem also now for Fnatic is they don't have Redemption and Locket, these really good late game items. We have Redemption on the side of Mithy plus his shields as well. So the 5-on-5 impact is just very heavily in favor of G2 unless Reckless can nail that perfect ulti.
Yeah, they're built for skirmish, Fnatic. And also, a lot of their wins came from flanking, surprising, catching people off guard. They're now all in front of G2. G2 sees exactly what is going to happen. They have the information. And throughout the split, they played always so well when they had information on the enemy team.
Yeah, G2 using that to dodge in and out of those danger zones from Fnatic. Chipping away, they finally get the tower. Sven's running a little bit lower mana. So he uses that arcane shift to safety, and now G2 back away. Expect pulling aggro on the right-hand side as Soaz gets jumped on by the hook shot. Expect's going to GA so he can play a little more forwards.
And the way these fights play out changes now too. Your front line is tankier. It can buy more time. Your shields and your support are more efficient, which again makes your front line buy even more time. Expect can now find Reckless somewhere, go a bit more aggressive, where previously if you overstep, you got popped by the Annie, by the Aurelion Sol. These longer, slower team fights are just so much in G2's favor.
And these longer, slower team fights actually allows Sven to really join the game here.
Yeah.
Early on, it was Fnatic playing away from Sven, forcing fights when he wasn't there. And G2 would lose the fights. Now we've gotten to this late game point on Israel. It's Sven in the front line with multiple shields on him. This is where he really shines, and where teams in the past with Sven on them have just loved to play around him in late game fights. Being it at Worlds, being at EU LCS, it doesn't matter. You can rely on him in the late game. And 3-0-7, the most damage in the last fight as well when they really needed him. It's looking good.
And of course, he's also being enabled by Mithy's karma. 0-1-11 of the team's 13 kills. Time and time again, Mithy is just dancing and using that full karma kit, which is going to provide way more value at this stage than the likes of an Annie.
And it also shows us that we should never judge just one game, right? If it was the best of one, it's like, oh, Fnatic outdrafted G2.
The classic one.
The classic. Finley won it.
Oh,
that goes in.
Very aggressive. Hextech ultimatum to lock caps in place. Time.
Oh, Reckless!
Reckless, so much damage with that spray and pray, but Expect is trying to solo him down. Reckless stays alive for a few seconds before the tactical sweep takes him out, with Fnatic losing their damage dealers cap, and Reckless, this should be an easy cleanup. G2 are pouring into the base. Mithy flashes over the wall, doesn't manage to find the shot though, as Broxah gets taken down. Few seconds to go, he flashes away actually, chasing under the inner turret, propels away from the hook shot. Finally, Expect gets the kill. Soaz will be the last man standing, but he'll be watching the base destroyed. G2 Esports take down the Nexus turret, and at 46 minutes, take down the Nexus to even the series 1-1.
And it's so important for G2 Esports.